Hello, welcome back. This is part three of the out of body and near death experiences on worldview mysteries. I'm Isaac Matthews, and these are amazing topics for me. We left off on where people have a near death experience and they find themselves in the void, the sensation of flying, which ends up in many cases being this tunnel of light, um, which I would think an image like this would be more symbolic of what they're speaking of or closer to what we've been told about. And then there's a receiving station in a spirit realm. Typically, the person is welcomed, greeted, and then accompanied by a spirit guide who they may have known in their past, usually a loved one, a family member, or a close friend. I'm not going to get too much into this, but there's a study that shows that 25%, 20%, the higher reports have been mothers and spouses uh, who are who greet this person who's gone to the spirit realm. But again, not every experience is the same, and as you can see through the research, many people experience different things. And many people experience an eternal spirit realms of paradise. They see families, gardens, buildings, and many worlds made of spirit matter, which is also coexisting within the dimension of our reality. So some people have even gotten into the multiverse theory, the string theories of many dimensions, which science and physics talks about these days, quantum realms and things like that. So many people feel like there's plenty of scientific evidence to support these experiences if they were genuine out of body experiences. Again, they see beautiful gardens and worlds, beautiful scenery and places. Some report that they gain meaningful insights by observations or through the teachings of a spirit guide into the purpose of life and relationships, about their family relationships and how they want to change their lives on their journey to various realms while they're in this spiritual journey. It really changes their perspective and worldview on reality and their life. Again, some people see some buildings at various different places. Descriptions of each near death experience account vary in details per case. Some experience a divine counsel where some people are shown a review of their lives and given the decision to stay on the earth, go back, return, or stay in the spirit realm, go back to the mortal life, continue their mortal journey in what is called typically a God realm. The person feels love, mercy, compassion, wisdom, and understanding emanating from God, emanating from everywhere within these places. Sometimes Jesus is specifically identified and mentioned, but there are various studies on every culture around the world. And there are various people experiencing different experiences. In fact, some people describe a divine being who is made of pure love, wisdom, power, and light as part of this God realm. They speak of a feeling that they have always known the Creator and wonder how they ever forgot. Some people report returning to their mortal human body as being painful and difficult, struggling with depression for a season after they return back. So there's the return from the spirit realms. Now, the first official medical report of a near death experience was in France in the 18th century, 1740s. So imagine this, over 250 years ago, by Pierre-Jean du Monchot, French military doctor who described such a case in his book, which is translated to English, Anecdotes of Medicine. Here is an actual cover of this book. The doctor, in his book, he describes the case of a patient who was a famous apothecary, who today would be a pharmacist, in Paris, who temporarily fell unconscious and then reported that he saw light so pure and bright that he thought he must have been in heaven. And since the 18th century, there have been many medical reports of near-death cases, but especially after 1970s. This is if you want to really get deep into some of these studies, I refer you to the Journal of Near-Death Studies. It's a quarterly peer-reviewed academic journal devoted to the field of near-death studies. It's published by the International Association for Near-Death Studies. The scientific and medical research into cases in the OBEs and near-death experiences uh, with not only the Journal of Near Death Experiences, but we'll get more into some of these groups, the International Association for Near Death Studies, IANDS. So stay with us. A lot of great information to come in this Worldview Mysteries series.